Cool. So, this is all pointless. I don't need any of this anymore. At least, well, it's not completely pointless. I will be using it in the future. But for now, I don't need you. You can just sit there. And yeah, so we are going to, let's see, what's the power situation looking like? Utterly horrendous. This is not what you want your power capacity to look like. Yeah, so let's fix that. So let's go to our power station and try to see if there are any further problems, but we are going to be upgrading substantially from there. So yeah, the plan for today is to use the diluted fuel recipe to get a lot of fuel, and then not turbo fuel because that is more complicated than I think it's worth. So we're just going to do regular fuel and not have to bother with the coal and the sulfur, and that'll save a lot of effort. Oh, hey look, it's my Caterium stuff that I have over here. That's fun. Yep. We're almost at the coal, and once we get there, then we can hop in a hypertube. So yeah, we're still going to use turbo fuel for jetpacks because it's more convenient. But as far as power production, we are switching back to regular fuel. Basically, I spent some time looking at, Satisfactory tools, looking at calculations for how much resources I would need for various amounts of power that I wanted to produce. And I decided that with the diluted fuel recipe, which I have, the amount of pure crude oil needed to make regular old fuel is completely manageable and simple, whereas transporting and dealing with all the coal and sulfur is pretty complicated and also not much more efficient. Like, I don't really have any recipes that help solve that. So we're gonna go with regular old fuel, and we'll switch over to rocket fuel once we have that, because that is a lot better. But yeah. Alright, we're heading down. And the compacted coal still looks somewhat intermittent, which I don't really know what that's all about. I could have sworn I did the math on this correctly, and it should be fine, but apparently not. Alright. Let's take a look-see here. So this is still running. It's only at 90%. Why is this only at 90%? Is this... That's full. This is sending it to the sink. So why would it be at 90% if it's sending it to the sink and there are enough canisters? Let's get some of this junk out of my inventory. Alright. That is confusing, but this is using 20 a minute. These are still short on compacted coal. And pretty majorly short. Those are a lot of gaps. Turbo fuel. Alright. Well, let's ignore that. And check over here. How much crude oil is being used here? So that is making 135, but it could be more. It could be up to like 270-ish off of this, and this is just a normal well. Now let's run over here, which is, I think, our computer stuff is this way. Yes, I can see it in the distance. Alright, so I've turned the computer off for power reasons. The computer production off for power reasons. Which is a bit inconvenient. So let's take a look here. We have all these refineries making heavy oil residue. And this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 heavy oil residue here. Yep. Looks like 80. And to check my calculations on the second tab, I end up needing 600 heavy oil residue, but I can get that from 450 crude oil. So this 80 here isn't a super massive chunk, but it is some. And we have impure, and I think there's another impure over here, if I remember correctly. Yes. So in terms of the crude oil in this general vicinity, we have that one, we have... Alright, we have a pure up there. So I think I'm going to work from that. So this should... Okay, hang on. Let me deal with this guy real quick. Alright, dead. Alright, let's see here. Where was it? Actually, a problem that might come up is my pipes. So I only have pipe Mark 1s, which can only use 300, which means that I can't actually get all of the crude oil from one source. Which means if I scan for crude oil again... Alright, there's another pure one over there. So I guess I can combine these two pure ones to get enough... Wait. Move. Move it, bucko. Sorry. We're building here. Alright. So this is going to be 240. Plus the other one would be 480, which would be more than enough. And if I overcharge them both to 300 to make the most of my fuel capacity, it'll be even better. Which I think I will do, because I was looking at it and I need 450 to get the amount that I want, but obviously more is better. So let's get power hookups there, and just put the power pole in the water. Don't worry about it. I'm sure that'll be fine and not cause any electrical problems later. Alright. And this is our second oil extractor, which we hook up. And let's see, I think I'm going to want to bring it over to that one because it is closer. So let's do the overcharging just up to 300 and start bringing this pipe. Okay, something is trying to kill me. I'm just gonna ignore it and hope I'm faster than it. Oh, come on. Landing in the water. What is bro doing? That is not what walking looks like. Alright, hang on. Let me deal with this joker. Yeah. He looks quite confused. He is definitely sort of glitched at the moment. Alright. There we go. And now we just continue to bring this pipeline over here. And keep it above the water. And we bring it over. Alright. So now we have all the oil we need. We are going to place down some foundations to get us some space over the ground. And let's just do all that. And blow up this weird mushroom thing. Alright, so now we bring the pipes up, which will be there and there, I guess. Alright, and now we need to update the numbers because we're working with 600 crude oil instead of 450. Maximize. Okay, no, not like that. Alright, let's see if that works. Yes, alright, cool. So we're going to need 20 heavy oil residue refineries, a shitload of water and water packaging, and I'm going to have to deal with 400 polymer resin. But for now, let's just get started on the refineries, which is going to take up a ton of space. So I think traveling back this way will be easier. Just build a nice big old platform. Expand it out. And sure, do that one too. Alright, so now we have this giant platform with a mushroom sticking through it. Bye! So now we have to get 20 refineries, which is going to be 10 per pipe. Alright, so let's have that one like snapped to the edge there. And two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What? Alright, well that was weird. 10. Alright, and that works out quite nicely in terms of space. So now we set these to the alternate heavy oil residue recipe, which takes 30 each. Plunk, 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 plunk. Alright. And then we hook up power. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then another power pole. 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we hook that up to there. And then we just take a pipeline and we run it all the way over as far as we can go anyway. Why would it ever want to do that instead of the specific location that I'm trying to put it? Alright, well, I just have to not hold control, I guess, for some reason. And all the way down there. Okay, that guy is certainly standing in the way. We're just going to ignore him. No, not attached to that one. I think we just get rid of that because we're going to need it for the second row. Now we hook all of these pipes up. And attach. And why would you do that? Weird pipes. Alright, so that is all hooked up. And now we can hook that up. So that will be the first row of refineries. And these refineries are going to be making heavy oil residue, which we want, and polymer resin, which we don't. So we're going to sink the polymer resin and collect up the heavy oil residue. Alright. And just because there's... hang on. I think we'll set the merger for this first. I'm being shot at. I do not appreciate the interruption. I'm kind of in the middle of something. Also, you suck at aiming? Like, how are you shooting all of these fireballs and missing all of them? That was incredible. Alright. We have found the worst fireball shot in the world. And let's just keep on making this merger. And so this row is half of the refineries, so it will be 200 polymer resin, so tier 3 belts will be enough for this. And the heavy oil management is going to be a bit trickier because this is going to make 400 heavy oil residue from this half line, which is, why do you keep insisting on making the stupidest possible belt? I do not understand. Alright. No. Stop it. Get some help. Alright. And then somehow I missed a belt in that location. So, alright. So that is all set up. And now we just have to run the sink. And we also need to upgrade these belts to tier 3. The first couple don't need it, but I'll do it anyway, just for consistency. And so I don't have to do math to figure out where it goes where. And we set up a nice little foundation over there. And we blow up more foliage. And we place a sink, which needs to be powered. And right, this whole thing isn't actually connected to anything yet. So it needs to be powered. We need Power Pole Mark II, just for having sufficient power in the vicinity. And then we hook that up to there. Alright, so now we have to take, I guess we can split this off into batches of 200 heavy oil residue and deal with it piecemeal like that. So let's get the pipe. It's going to need to be a tall pipe, and it's in the middle of this foundation. And like there, and up, and over. And bro, are you good? Can you get out of there, or are you just stuck forever? I'm gonna assume you can get out of there. Alright, and now we place the pipeline junctions in. This is a big, complicated factory. We are not even halfway done with the first step, which is, by some accounts, the less complicated step, so that's fun. We're probably going to have to bring this up to a second floor, just for simplicity purposes. Alright, so now we have heavy oil residue, but we need to split this up into batches of 200, which means 5 machines each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So if I get rid of that, if I get rid of this pipe, then theoretically everything will probably still work. If I had to guess, I don't know. I think I should probably just connect this to power and get things running. Sorry, I don't use Twitter/X. Alright, so that is now attached to power, which means we will be getting fuel running through some stuff, and I'm gonna need to find my way back over here. So let's see, why are most of these red? Did I not? Actually, wait, what is this? Where am I? Oh, I'm at the wrong place. Okay, that makes sense. The crude oil I'm looking for is further this way, I think. Yes. It's this one. This is the one that I'm working on right now. So, because I've chosen to take my gas from the further one, this is going to take a while to get set up, which is a little awkward, but it is what it is. And also, for some reason, I've run it in a very silly way, where instead of just attaching on that side, it has to go all the way down and under and through. Alright. So while this gets warmed up, I am going to start doing it again a second time for the other half of this production line, which means I'm going to need a bit more space this way, keep that going. Oop. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And fill in this random gap. Alright. That's fun. I think I see that something is starting. Yes. It looks like some of these are now green. And producing. Yep. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So now we have to set up the second row. So hopefully by building it in phases like this, like these machines will be at capacity and turned off, and as a result they won't be drawing power until the full thing is more close to online. Power refinery. Alright. So let's head over here and try to get this lined up. We want to give it a bit of space, but we don't want to give it too much space. That's just wasteful. Alright, that looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we take the pipe, which I guess will be like there, and we can run it all the way along. I think just for convenience, I want it to not have a junction right exactly where the input is supposed to be. And now we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we hook the pipeline up. Alright. And now we just have to attach this pipe to this, whatchamacallit. Alright, so you can go probably under, but like twist it around like that and then up. Sure, let's go with that. Alright, and now I need to set all of these to heavy oil residue alternate, and then hook them all up to power. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, and now we get power Mark II. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another pole. 7, 8, 9, 10, and so those are now all active as well. How is power looking? Still within the realm of manageable. Actually, hang on. Let's just check. So consumption is like 1200 before that. Production is like hovering in the 2500 range. This whole thing uses almost 2000 power. So it might be a bit dicey. It might be a little bit sketch in terms of getting this booted up. And I guess the way to help alleviate that somewhat is power storage. So let's just build some nice convenient room over this way and place down just a bunch of batteries so that hopefully even if we do end up producing if we do end up using a bunch of power, it'll be temporary before things actually get online, and all this power storage should resolve the problem. So now we have to hook all of these guys up. So we do need, like, this is kind of very difficult to do, like, just in terms of seeing what I'm doing and clicking on all of the correct buttons. But alright. I think they all look like they're hooked up, unless some of them are like hooked up to each other. But so yeah, so that will massively increase our ability to store power, which means hopefully the excess power we're producing right now will be enough to basically delay into the future when, I mean, we only have to last for like a couple minutes before everything gets online. So it should be okay. I've just realized I've built this exactly where I want the sink to go. So I think we'll just get rid of one and twist that over there. And build out some extra space over here for another sink. There we go. And come to think of it, this needs to be Mark III, I think. Alright. So now we need to finish collecting all this stuff up. And this needs to be Mark III, of course, because that's going to be 200 polymer resin. Merger, please. Line up. There we go. Alright. Almost there. I probably should have set up a refinery manifold blueprint before this. That would have been smart. And it is not too late, and I need to place down like another billion refineries. It is not too late to set up a refinery manifold blueprint. So I think I will go and do that. Alright. And right, so this needs to be powered. Properly get rid of the polymer resin. And of course all of these need to be hooked up, and then the main belt is going to need to be upgraded to tier 3. And almost there. Alright. Now I'm going to place a blueprint designer somewhere where it won't be in the way, like over here. And preferably not physically in the ocean. And get rid of that. Alright, now let us set down 2 refineries, and probably need them to be more central than that because I need space in front of them. Alright, so now we take a splitter and need this to be fairly compact. Alright, cool. And then a pipe. Which can go up there, and then probably out to, like, where's the edge of this going to be? Like there, maybe? How is this lined up? Yeah, let's go with something like that. And then we build in the pipeline junctions. What do you mean pipe turns too sharply to attach? That's very annoying. Alright, let's make this just a little bit longer. This is quite annoying because this means that I'm going to have to build extra space in, I think, in order to properly attach. And is this going to look good? No, that looks terrible. Yeah. Oh, God. Alright. Let's take that, extend it out to the... there, I guess. And now we can hook those in. Alright, so that is the input. And now we have to go to the other side and shoot. I've run out of space. Well, I can at least Apparently not. Alright. Well, I'm pretty much using all of the space here. Well, at least we have half of it. Refinery. Input manifold. Yeah, this is kind of not ideal. But it'll maybe save us a bit of time. Alright, so we have still to do this, which needs a pipe. And put it in a slightly weird spot. But raise it over here. And we continue along. Right. And now we just hook the pipe junctions up. And once these are done, we will be done with this set of refineries. And then we can move on to the next set, which are slightly different. Alright. And done. Yep. And they're going to produce a bit more. All that gets all filled. Alright. So, heavy oil residue done. We have 400 heavy oil residue production. Although, we need to split this as well. No, not eat the thing. Need to get rid of that. So we have 5 and 5. So we have 4 pipes of 200 heavy oil residue each. That's 800 heavy oil residue. And polymer resin is being appropriately dealt with. So next step is water. So we need a hilarious amount of water. We need 1,600 a minute, which is why we're here on the ocean, of course. And we also need to package all of that, which is going to take apparently 26.667 packagers. And also, we also need the plastic canisters or containers or whatever they're called, which is sort of we're just going to have to grab them from somewhere else. We have places producing them. We're just going to have to grab a bunch of them from there. For now, though, let's get our... So the amount of water on this level... Basically, I want this to be flat because I don't want to have to put pipeline pumps on everything, because that would just be tremendously inefficient and use like a ton of power. Which means that we're going to have to ignore the classic Satisfactory advice of building vertically, and it will be objectively more efficient to build horizontally, especially with the really non-trivial amount of water we are dealing with here. Alright, fallen off the pipe that I was standing on to get a vantage point. And another one. And this ending is super janky, but we're just not going to reach the ending. So we need packagers set up to accept water in batches of 300. So we slap down a packager, and we're going to find out how many packagers per row. So this is 60 water a minute. So it's going to be in batches of 5 packagers per water pipe. Yep, that checks out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need 27 total. Alright, so that's group 1. This is going to be group 2. We'll give them some space. 3, 4, 5. Alright, so that's 10. Second row, give it... Well, let's see. It's going to have a pipe and a merger. So let's just place those in just for like the first one. Just to make sure we give enough space. So something like that, and yeah, this amount of space will be plenty. Alright, so this is the first row of 10, and we're going to need a second row. Alright, cool. So a second row of 2 batches of 5 each, which you get like, we probably want to give enough space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 1. One. Is this quite lined up? No, it's ever so slightly off for some reason. So we are going to get it like that, which now lines up perfectly. Cool. And that's 1, 2, you look explodable. Oh. I need to grab another stack of obelisks. And 3, and 4, and 5. Alright. So that is now 20 packagers. This is so many packagers. Yeah, okay. And then we need 26.7. So the third row will be over here, and it looks like we're leaving like 2.5 tiles of space. So let's go like that, and line you up. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and leave a space. So I'm currently at 25, and this is 26, 27. Alright, now is the fun part where we hook all of these up to water and outputs. Alright, so we need 300 water per pipe for this. Okay. Wait, that's so much water. Alright, so extractor, 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 extractor. And these are 120 per, so I'm going to need 10. So 10 gets me to 1200, which leaves me with 400 left. Which means, math is hard. So 10 gets me to 1200, 11 gets me to 1320, 12 gets me to 1440, 13 gets me to 1580. I've lost track of how many. I think it's going to be like 15. I don't know. I'm going to say 15-ish. Can you tell that the Satisfactory calculator doesn't tell you, at least the one that I'm using, doesn't tell you exactly how many water extractors you need? Alright, so that is 7. And that's 8, 9, 10. This is not the most efficient way of placing water extractors, but 11, 12, 13, and 14. Alright, now we have to do the awful part, which is dividing these up so that they fit the nice, neat proportions. And I guess before I do that, I will set up the whatchamacallits, the manifolds for bringing stuff in. Just so that I can see how many pipes, and once I get it set up, I can just put it in. So this will be for the packaging, and I have no idea how much packaging this actually is going to consume. Let's see here. Packaged water is going to be, oh god, a lot, actually. So I can only have belts up to 480, which means 60, 120, 180, 240, 300. Hey, look, it's a guy. Hello. Alright, well, so I think in that case, it's going to make sense that each of these are going to have to be their own individual manifold. And that will be mildly annoying, but not a huge deal probably. So yeah. And then I really should have set up a blueprint for this as well. The amount of time wasting is enormous, but what can you do? Alright. That is that. And that is that. And we're going to need to run back through and upgrade all of these belts because they need to be quite quick. We need 300 capacity at most per batch, which is going to mean high tier belts. Alright, so that's those ones are all set up. These ones are all set up. So now it's just these ones. And boom. Boom. This little mini one over here is certainly a thing. Alright. And we put that up. And almost done with these item manifolds. And we are going to need to bring in a ton of plastic containers from elsewhere in order for this to work. But we won't need to actually expend any. Like, we can just recycle them back through the factory over and over again. So now it is pipe time. I think we might need... It didn't actually place. We might need to expand this out one more layer so that I have room to place the pipes. So the pipes can just be, they can just go over the splitters here, and like so. And then we run back to this one and set the pipes up here. And they just run over the splitters. And then we set these ones up, and they go over the splitters. Alright. And then this pipe is actually not necessary because these ones are outputting the plastic, the container stuff, so there are no fluids exiting these. And just, I think this is the last one. Alright. So that's all of those in. And now we put... Why are you not snapping? Alright, it's not automatically snapping to a line, which is annoying, but... Please. Thank you. I guess, before I do all of these, I should check. Yep, it does work. just keep on placing them, and this is way more annoying when they don't snap into alignment. So that's one row, and we have a second row. Please. And we have a third row. Not a third row, but another batch. Third row is over there. God. I really, really wish I had just made a stupid blueprint for this. I would be so incredibly done with this by now if I had a blueprint set up and ready to go. Alright. Please line up. Please line up. Where is the... There it is. And then this one might not have enough space to line up, actually. Please. It's so specific. Alright. Yeah. This one I accidentally made too close. Fortunately, it's the shortest one. So it's the least work to tear down and build like half a block this way. Not hypertube. Not a hypertube. Just a regular tube. Thank you. Alright, so now this is... Now it snaps properly for some reason. Pipe nonsense. Ha. Okay. I'm just not going to worry about it, but... Weird things are happening with these pipes. Why... This one is also too close and or too high, which means I need to tear it down and redo it. This is a little bit of a nightmare. Alright. I need to make a packager blueprint so that this never has to happen again. Alright, so then I build this just with more horizontal space. And then I put the junctions in, and they even auto snap this time, which is lovely. And then we hook this up. And one last one, please. One last one for this row, even. Still, I have to tear this one down too. Alright. This is officially quite frustrating. But we are almost done with this. And then I will go and make a stupid packager blueprint for the next one. Alright, give it enough space. And we can place all the pipes in. And just keep placing pipes. Alright. Now we have one more row. And please say this row will work. It looks like it will. Lovely. Meh. 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 And meh. Alright. So now these machines are all hooked up to pipes. So now we need... Well, we need to hook them up to power next. Which will be a job for Power Pole Mark IIs. 1, 2... Alright, that's just connected to some random machine off in the distance. We're not going to worry about that. And... 2, 3, 4, 5... And bring another pole. Alright, and that's the one that was randomly connected. Cool. And bring another power pole. And then we have to head back to this set of machines and hook them up. 2, 3, 4, 5. And another power pole. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we just need to hook all of this stuff up to one that's in the system. And that power spike means that it worked, I think. Alright. Now we have to set all of them to package water. And we're going to need to go in. We need to set all of these to package water. So yeah, I should not have done this manually. I should have made a whatchamacallit. I should have made a blueprint, and all of this would have been done in like a couple minutes. I'm definitely going to make a blueprint for the next one. Alright. Almost there, and then we can start actually attaching the water to all of this. Water, package water, package water, package water, packaged water, packaged water, and packaged water. Alright, so now all of these packagers are now yellow. So now I just need to attach the water and bring in the supply of packages, empty canisters. So, 2 of these guys are 240. So basically I need 2 and then half of a third per pipe, which means I guess I could do that with valves. Yeah, I can do that with valves. So let's take this group. Alright, we need to switch over to pipe mode now. Alright, we hook those 2 up. We get a junction in and hook those up here. And now I just need a third one, like this one back here. which is willing to generously donate half of its production. Alright. And then we do that, and then we need a valve here. No, it didn't actually place. So this has a valve which will limit this to 60. Which will mean that this pipe fills up completely, and this will have the other 60 go the other way. So let me grab more turbo fuel before I run out. So we hook up another one of those. Bring it up to there, I guess. And stick another stupid junction there. And then this can come over there and right through that, but who cares? Not me. And we stick a valve on it, which is set to 60. So this is how we're going to do that. And boy, is this kind of cursed, but what can you do? I guess I could have a foundation there and take that, so I at least don't want it to clip, right? Like, that would be nice to avoid. Alright, that's 2 down. What? There's another 1, 2, 3 and a half to go. So we take these two, we hook them together, and we put that on, and then this one is going to probably sneak down under all of that nonsense. So we're going to have a nice good old-fashioned pipeline underwater transporting water, as one does. And then we're going to take this and please. Is that hooked up? Yes. Alright, cool. And we're going to get it like there so that I can see it. And then we run it all the way to the other side. And then we bring it up. And into this line. So that is that one done. So now I just have this one, and the tiny one. But I do have to hook the third one onto there. Which we can do with a junction there, and that, and a valve. So that will be limited to 60. Alright. these two, hook them up. Bring this down under the foundation as like the other one. And if I ever hit the ground, my pipe gets destroyed. So I need to, if I ever hit the ground, the pipe that I'm building gets removed. So I need to sit like in this coral and place it. And then take it out there. And then loop this around. This piping is hideous. Just don't worry about it. No one will be able to see it. It is under the foundation. And then that goes up and attaches to that. So that's attached to one. That's attached to one. This one and the mini one are the only ones remaining. Although this one does need its half, which we can get very easily, just like so. And we stick a valve on that. And say 60. Alright. So there's one and a bit left. So we take these two, we hook them up. We get that. Can I just like get a foundation in here, please? Just anything to put a pipe on so that it doesn't go into the water. Alright. And then take this pipe all the way over here, and I guess it's gonna have to go underwater to juke some pipes, and then back above, and then please, does that work? No, it doesn't. So it needs to go back underwater again. Okay, the surface is too uneven there. Back underwater, and then back up above water, and in. Alright. And then I believe that one still needs its additional half. Yes, it does. So we just go there and stick the valve on it. No, not the segment itself. So that is set to 60. And then finally we have, how much do these two need? Just like 120? Yeah, so these two are going to need, and this doesn't even need to be a full one, it needs to be like 2/3 of one. So yeah, like 120-ish. So in that case, we are going to just take this extra and we bring this water pipe down. It just continues to flow underneath. Alright, and now we get it up onto there and in there. And with that, we are done with the piping. Now we just need to hook up all of these water generators to power. So we need to find, there's one with spare. And we start hooking them up. And of course the packagers aren't going to start yet. Oh, that was one too many. I need another power pole. Alright. Alright. 5, 6, 7. No, that was one too many again. I need another power pole. Alright. Is that one too far? How is it too far? Alright, well, we will place a power pole on that little rock. And there. That is all of the water generators generating water. And if we look, alright, power is still looking fine-ish. The water generators will fill up all these pipes soon, and then this won't be a concern. It'll take a bit, though. There's a whole lot of water to produce. Alright, so now we have all of these guys, and they are going to produce packaged water, which we need to gather up a whole, like, multiple truckloads of. So these batches are batches of 300, which I can manage. Oh, and I'm going to need to upgrade these belts, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to do that now before I forget. So these need to be tier 4 belts because they need to be able to carry like up to 300, which is sadly too many for tier 3 belts. My poor encased industrial beam production is not going to be happy with me right now, but I should have a ton of spares. And that one doesn't really need to be, but... Alright. So next up, we need to manage the output, which will just be simple little merger manifolds, nothing too exciting. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's one that I already placed here previously, which happens to line up. Wonderful. Alright. Another line of mergers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one last line. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2. And now the belts for all of them. Alright, and then this one needs belts. Place in some belts. And then we're going to have to gather up all of this packaged water. We also need the belts from the machines to the mergers. Those are important. I can't forget about those. And then we're going to need to bring in like a lot of actual canisters, which, gosh, I don't think I have a stockpile of anywhere. So that's going to be annoying. Alright. Now the machines to the belts can be just tier 1. And I think we're going to need like a stack of canisters per building or something. So yeah, we're going to need a lot of canisters, which once I'm done with this, I will go, I guess, just set up a box for them over at where I'm producing them for the current turbo fuel plant. And yeah, this would be really nice to have had a packager blueprint so I didn't have to spend all this time doing this. But it is what it is. Alright, so that is all the packaged water gathered up. Next up are the diluted packaged fuel refineries, which I think I will make those on a second floor, just because this is all quite cramped. And adding in 26 more refineries certainly isn't going to help it not be cramped. Alright, so let's get a quick wall, and we'll build the floor over here, and up we go. And is that high enough? Yes, it is. So now I just need to actually get up there myself, which takes a lot of gas, but is manageable. Yeah, so this factory is on a whole nother scale from anything I've done before. Except, well, I think I did something somewhat comparable in my previous world, but I can't really remember. Alright, so this is plenty of space, or not, we still need more. So now we need to pump the diluted or the heavy oil up here. And then just belt the water up. Alright. So, something like that. So here we have the heavy oil pipes. And we've got 4 of them. So let's, and they're in batches of 200. So let's slap down a refinery and see how many refineries one of those pipes feeds. And this is diluted packaged fuel. So it's 30 heavy oil residue per minute. And they come in packs of 200, which doesn't work out nicely. Yeah, so we need these to be in 4 groups of, so 200 is 30, 60, 90, so 6 is 180, so it's like 6 and a third. No, 6 2/3. So yeah, 6 2/3 per row. Alright, well, let's get started. And it'll be 4 sets of that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2/3. And then we have a gap for clarity purposes. And we have, wait, I have a blueprint for these. It's only half of a blueprint, but I do have a blueprint. I'm going to use that instead because... Alright. You take from inventory before depot just to get some of this junk out. Refinery input manifold. Alright. And... Gosh, if only I could line this up better. I don't know. It doesn't really matter how well lined it up it is, ultimately. It just needs to be horizontally aligned. With a bit of space. So that is 4. And that is 6. And that's cutting it close. Will that count? Yes. Will. Alright. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1 more, which I will do manually, I guess. And it needs a splitter. Oh, this one's backwards. It needs a splitter. And it needs a belt and a belt. And it needs access to the pipeline. Alright. So that is 1 out of 4 batches. Although I still need to configure it all and hook it all up to power. But we can do that later. Right now we need to do batch 2 out of 4. Refinery, input manifold. Lined up. Give it some space. 1, 2. More horizontal room, please. Alright, something like that. So this is the second batch, and this is 2. Four. Six. And I think it's honestly going to be easier just to place down another blueprint and then destroy this extra. Yeah, and then destroy this. Alright. So then this last one, right, we'll need to configure them, but this is all good to go, and we need to connect the pipes together because blueprints in this game don't tile well. Alright. And also going to need to attach the belts together between blueprints. Yep. And okay, so this is an intentional gap, so these belts don't get connected. And I think these belts are going to need to be upgraded, but we'll do that once we are actually hooking up that plastic stuff. Alright, now we need to make this area less of a horrible mess. Alright. And we keep placing blueprints. So that we leave a healthy amount of space, just to be sure. 2, 4. 6. And 7 plus 1, which we don't need. Alright, take all of that down. And that is good to go almost. We need to attach the belts in and the pipes. Alright, belts attached. Pipes attached. Alright. And then that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. One more. And give me the horizontal space. Yep. Alright. And one more set. And then we'll be good to go on these. Alright, let's see here. I guess it doesn't really matter that these line up, but alright. Give you some space. A comfy amount of space, so that's 2. Four. Oh. 6. And 7 plus 1 extra. And we get rid of all this stuff. And then we hop up and we connect belts. Yep. And that is the intentional gap. And now we connect pipes. And just like that, we are good to go on the inputs. Alright, now we need to set up the outputs. So these refineries make packaged fuel. We need to actually set all of these up, which is going to be a bit time consuming, and then attach them to power. Yeah, my blueprint is not spectacular, unfortunately. Alright, we are really quite close to done though. Like, the only thing left is unpackage the fuel, send the spare containers down to the packagers, and then actually use the fuel to make power. But I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get some packages to make sure to basically get this phase done so that I can have a bunch of packaged fuel ready to go, because when this is booting up, I want there to be as little stuff happening at when this is booting up, I want there to be as little delay between everything starts running and the power kicks in, which basically means like each step is primed and ready to go, and the factory is just idling with buffers and everything full. So yeah, we're gonna place our power poles in, and then I'm gonna go grab a whole bunch of packages, I guess, which I don't even know how I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to empty out my entire inventory and bring in a huge number. Alright. Then we have just continuing this along. Power connecting sure is fun. I kind of wish there was a way to to like automatically connect nearby buildings to power poles. It certainly would save a lot of time. I don't know. There are probably some horrible consequences to that I'm not thinking of, but it would be nice to be able to like put down a power pole and say, hey, any building within this power pole's reach that isn't powered, just hook it up. And how many spares? One more. And then we get the next power pole. And I believe that is everything hooked up to power. So now I just need to hook the power up to something on the actual grid, like any spare power poles down here. Yes, there's one. Alright, so now I'm going to head over and get me some plastic containers so that I can get some of this stuff going now. So that is the computer factory there. But the fuel production is over this way. Somewhere. I don't know. I'm kind of bad with the exact locations of things at the moment. Let's see, that is the space elevator, obviously. And alright, I see some stuff. This looks correct. Alright, so this is, what is the plastic? Yes, this is where I make my plastic and rubber. And then down over here, if I head down this is where the containers have a production line, although currently they're just being either used for packaged fuel or sunk. So we need to take these containers and okay. I guess I could just like fill it from the other end with fuel, but I don't know. Let's just set a... God, everything here is terrible. So we will set center to overflow, right to any. You get out to some open space where we can put a storage container and store some plastic. Alright, so that will fill up over time. This packager, yeah, I think I actually don't want that. I think just sinking turbo fuel is a waste, and doing it this way will get me more power most of the time, which could be handy in the upcoming minutes once this all starts turning on. It also means less canisters going there and more canisters going into my little storage container over here. So I guess we will let that collect, and we can dimensional depot them even. We can let those collect in the dimensional depot while we head over. And we can chuck like a stack or two in, so everything will have something at least. Alright, it's just over here. It's actually quite close to... Alright, now we can head over to the packagers and toss some packages in, which, let's see, so we have 100 in our inventory. I mean, I don't want to put too many in, just like a couple per line, I think, for now. Once we have a big stockpile, we will be doing more, but for now I just need to make sure that all of these lines have some empty canisters in them, so that there's some packaged water, so that stuff happens, basically. Yeah, and then alright, well, that is fine. We will need a lot more, but we're going to have to wait for that container to fill up before we can really bring in like a full stack of plastic per machine, which is kind of what we need. In the meantime, I just realized I have old notes here. Those aren't necessary. Yeah, so in the meantime, we have all of these refineries set up, and we need to actually attach the fuel to them, the fuel and the plastic. So let's see, we have 4 pipes there, there, and there. So we can hop down, and I've cleverly placed what looks to be a very important power pole right in the way. But we can snake this pipe around that. And then back. Around there. Get up top. And there we go. That is hooked up. And we're going to need a pump. And I don't know how high the pump is going to need to be. Try putting it there. Does that work? Wait, actually, hang on. I think I can check better by lock hologram. Alright, that is just barely not enough. So we're going to need to put this like there. No, also barely not enough. Alright, so we're going to need 2 pumps. One to get it started, and then the other to get it the rest of the way. And now we need to find a free power pole. Yes, there's one. And hook it up to the pumps. So now this should fill with heavy oil. Alright. 1 down, 3 to go. Alright. Where are the other ones? Okay, actually, hang on. This, I think I want this to run down here to this one, because it is the furthest away on this side. So that should be the same height-wise, so it should still be fine. Now we need to hop over here and grab this pipe, which I think I'll do from here. Bring it around the ever so convenient power storage. And then up? Yeah, something like that. Straight through another power cell. We'll take that power cell down in a bit. For now, though, we are going to need our pumps. So this then attaches up there. And yeah, so this again just barely doesn't quite make it. So we need access to power, which, where on earth is it? I knew I had one set aside for this. Yes, there. Did that click properly? I don't think it did. Wait, it might have? That attaches there. And there. And let's grab another power pole up here. Just for the sake of convenience. And with those running, is this working? Is this not high enough up? Or is this too high up? I think that one must be just barely too high up. So let's try putting it there instead. And hooking it up to the power supply. No. Alright, I think we are going to need a third pump down at the base for some reason. Alright. Now it's working. It's not the most efficient system in the world to have 3 pumps on a single pipe, but it is working. The higher up pumps are good to go. And now we should have heavy oil flowing into all of these machines. And yep, it looks like it's making its way on through. now we just need to do the other side. So we get on over here and stand on this giant mushroom. And so that, it's there. Bring it up onto this giant mushroom. There. Bring it up onto this giant mushroom. And then we have to loop it around to kill this guy first. Alright, so what were we doing? Right, getting the power from this giant, or getting the fluid from this giant mushroom over to where it can be used, which means taking it all the way out over here. And then from there we can loop it up and up. Yep, and then that can go to there, and this can go to there, and then to there. And now we just need to apply the pumps to actually get this stuff going. So let's see here. I have one there. And one there. And we can have one there, I guess. And one there. And then we find a spare power pole, which hopefully exists somewhere. That's 7 out of 7. That's 7 out of 7. There's some spare over here at the water collectors. Yep. Alright, so I need to grab this power pole, bring it just like there, I guess, and then up onto that giant mushroom where I can attach it to a variety of pumps. And that should get the heavy oil up to the top. Probably. It's got it, right? That should be fine. Unless... Alright, that one started working. And this one is not for some reason. So I'm going to destroy it and build another one just a bit lower down. And see if I can find that power pole that these are all connected to. There it is. And even with that being a bit lower down, it should be perfectly good to get it up there. Hello? Alright, no, it's coming. Alright. Heavy oil is up. And and theoretically that should be fine. So now the next step is the fuel, the packaged fuel, and the recycling. So we have all this packaged fuel, which we need to bring the actual packages up real quick. So yeah, here we have some packaged water, and it needs to get up there. So let's get that going. So this is the first line of packagers, and this is unfortunately just going to be a bunch of Mark IV conveyor lifts. I guess we can bring these out to the edges. And then up. Alright, so that's one row. This is row 2. So these need to come out to the edges so that I can get them up onto the next level. Which, okay, let's just build a lift up, and no, that's not going to be convenient. I guess an easier way to do it would be to head up here, figure out where we need the stuff to come from, and then get it there. So these manifolds are running in a somewhat inconvenient way. Okay, so I guess the plan is to run that belt there, and then, oh, hang on, I forgot I have zoom mode on. So that belt goes all the way over here, and then, yeah, so we don't actually need that. We can quite conveniently have this just up there and there. Alright, that's one. And then we have this next one to worry about, which is going to have to travel a bit. I don't know, let's just get it up and like go that way, I guess. And this is spaghettifying quite quickly, I fear. But that can fit under that pipe. Come over this way. And then we need a nice convenient path over there. So that can not quite reach. And then that goes there. It comes around there. And in. Alright, 2 down. Yeah, we are going to need to accelerate these belts up to max speed, although they don't have to be max speed, right? They probably do. Wait, actually, hang on. I just had a thought. These aren't ratioed properly for the containers. They're ratioed properly for the oil. Which means... Hang on. Each of these groups of 6 2/3 is going to be 360 and 380 plastic, whereas those setups are 300 each because there are more of them. Oh, yikes. That makes this much less convenient. Alright, I guess, so instead of doing all this grossness, we will have to like load balance it or something. Alright, let's figure that out next. So we're probably going to just have a logistics floor in that case, which we have room for underneath here. So yeah, let's get a logistics floor set up. And it can be like... No, not even there. Let's give this logistics floor plenty of space. And I just realized there are a lot of awesome shop unlocks that I could buy that would probably make this much more convenient. But like floor holes, for example. But I don't think they're necessary. Let's see here. This logistics floor needs to be even bigger. It needs to head over this way. Alright. Almost set up. Alright, so this should be enough space. So we need to sort these 5.5-ish into 4. So first of all, let's get all of this stuff onto the logistics floor itself. So you come up here. Alright, and let's see here. You are going to end up coming around this way after all. And up you go. Alright, so that's 2. This is number 3. So you twist around. get over to the edge there. And actually with this list, the floor needs to be a bit longer. And up we go. That's 3. So now I just have to get around to these ones. Alright, that is 1. Alright, and then these ones need to come over. Mr. Bean, you're gonna have to go. Please leave. I'm trying to build there. Oh, that's so annoying. Please. Get out. I don't want to have to kill you. Alright. Please. Get out of the way. I just want you to leave me alone. Alright, I have unfortunately had to kill Mr. Bean. It was for a good cause. And I hope his body just doesn't lie there forever now. That would be very uncool if it did. Alright, so you need to go out there. And you need to come up here. And on there is that. A tier 4, no it is not. Alright, and then that is that. And one more. I'm not feeling super great about the amount of encased industrial beams I'm burning through here. It is a lot. Alright, so that comes up here. And onto the logistics floor. Alright, so now I have all of these. Each of these, except for this, is 300. And I need to get them to 380. Which means, basically... First of all, how much is this? This one is 100. So that one's 100. The rest of them are 300. Alright, so how do I divide 300 into batches of 80? So I could get it into 150. I don't know, this seems very complicated. Yikes. If only I had faster belts. But I don't. Alright, so I can use lower tier belts to split more precisely. So this is 300. If I have a splitter between 270 and 300, then... Alright, wait, if I have... Oh, this is like a puzzle game. So I need to get one of these into batches of 80. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. So this is 300 on a belt. I could... Let's see, I could just like... Hang on, so the actual capacity of these belts is 480. So I could just merge two of them and have a 480 and a 120, and then take three... Oh god, this is kind of a nightmare, isn't it? Well, let's start with this, attaching it to a splitter. So this is 300. I can divide it into 120 and 180 by... So that will always be 120. And that will always be 180. So now I have that going for me. So 120 plus... So I could divide the 180... I could divide the 120 further into a pair of 60s, and then I'd turn the 180 into 240. And then... I just need to figure out how to split this up into a batch of 80, right? So this is 120. This is going to be 240. I could take off another... Oh man, the math. Who would have thought I would be sitting here to do math puzzles? Wait. Does Satisfactory calculator have a load balancer calculator? No, it doesn't look like it. Does Satisfactory Tools have a load balance calculator? I feel like I saw something like that on one of these. Oh yes, Workbench. All right. So alright, so we have all of these. So what do I need exactly? I need like a... No, this isn't really what I need. I need to actually like just do math. So what is this? So how do I do this? I have 300. I could get it to 30 and 270. And then get it to 30, 270. And like 30, 120, and 150. I need to get like a 40 somewhere. Wait. 120 into 3 pieces is 40. So this is 120, right? And then I split this into 3 subsections, each of which is 40. So each of these is 40. And this is 180. So if I take this 180 and I split it, so I can take this 180, I can do the same trick again of splitting it into it. So I can have that, and then split this into a 120 and a 60. And then I can split this 120 into 340s again. And then I can take two of these 40s, merge them into an 80, and so I get, so that can be so I can have 3 sets of 380. Alright. So let's actually set that merger in. Alright, so that's 180. So I have 80 there. Then I take that one and that one, and I get 80 there. Then I take this one and this one, and I have 80 there. So that's 80, this is 80, that is 80. Now I combine each of these with one of these, which are 300 each, and just get those up and over. No, not like that, but like that. Alright, so now I have 3 belts of 80. So now I combine them with each of these, which are unaffected at 300. I don't know, something like this. This is kind of ridiculous to have to do, but... Oh, and these ones that are 80 need to be set as tier 2 belts, obviously. Otherwise, the whole thing isn't going to work. Because they have to actually be able to store 80. Why is that belt all broken up like that? Okay, wait, I've lost track. So this is 300. So that's 120. And that is 180. This 120 gets split evenly 3 ways. So each of these is 40. Then this 180 gets split to 120 here and 60 here. And so then this gets split evenly 3 ways so that each of these are 40, which makes each of these 80. So that's 80, that's 80, this is 80. Oh, the math. Alright, so now we have 3 belts that are at 380. Which, if I remember correctly, so this is 60 per minute, and there are 2, 4, 6, 7 of them. So it's 360 plus... Wait. Was that all of that based on wrong math? This has to be 2/3 of one, right? That's what I said earlier. This last one has to be 2/3 of one, which means that this isn't 380, it's 400? Well, yeah, obviously, because it's 1600 water total. Duh. Which means that all of this is wrong, actually, and I need to do it differently. Alright, well, that's tilting. Alright, so let's get back here. So this is 300, and it's actually so much easier now. So all of this is pretty much entirely unnecessary, all of this complicated junk. We just need to split this batch of 300 into 3 batches of 100, which can be done with a single splitter. Not even an inconvenience. Alright, well, I felt very smart until I did the math and double-checked. Let's get all this junk out of the way. I guess these end conveyor belts are fine. You can just hook them up. Alright. So we have this one coming in at 300. We split 3 ways. 1, 2, 3. And then we just hook that in, and that in, and that in, and that is good. And then this one is 100 all on its own, which attaches to this one over here. So yeah, and then I take that. It goes up. And over. And cuts it a little close, but it's no problem. And we have a merger here. And that in there. And that in there. So this is 400. So now all of these are 400, and we just need to get them to the right spots. So this one can come up here. This is where one of them was needed. Oh, did I attach this to the wrong side of the splitter? Yes, I did. The merger comes out this way. And then that attaches there. And that's one setup. Alright, and then the next one is also going to come up this little peninsula type thing. And it's going to run back here. And it says it's clipping something, but it very clearly isn't. And in it goes. Alright, so that's 2 down, 2 to go. And these ones are going to attach on the outer edge over here. Which means this one's going to have to take a bit of a journey. So that goes there. Comes over here and up. And it stays up. And it stays up. Or, no, I said it stays up. And then it comes around and up it goes. And then it goes around to there and in there. And last but certainly least, we have this one, which goes up there and around and around and around that tree and around the giant rock and in. Alright, that's that hooked up. Now I just need to make these. So these are 300. So these are 300 each. Hang on, wait, 400 each. So yeah, I think it is just going to be safest and easiest just to make all of these Mark IVs as well. And just we might not be able to finish this super conveniently because it kind of looks like we are running low on encased industrial beams, in which case we would have to wait or think more carefully about all of these belts we're placing in. I hope it doesn't come to that. Alright, and belt, and belt, and belt, and belt, and belt, and belt. Alright, so that's all that. And we need to do this one. Alright, this is almost... Alright, so that's done. So now we have that. So these are going to output the packaged fuel. So the thing we need now are the depackagers. Which I think we will actually get packages in first. So let's just run over to here, grab a whole bunch grab a whole bunch of plastic canisters and just start dumping them in. So let's see here. This. Alright. We are going to need to dispose of some junk, but we can use these. We can put those in and also save on some stuff. Let's see, we don't need the coal. Don't need the coal. What else do we have that isn't super useful? I guess these stacks of like 5 and 8 and 10 aren't doing much. And let's take all of these canisters and dump them in. So yeah, I think we're probably not going to need a full stack of canisters per machine, but definitely a couple stacks per line. Like the whole manifold thing is going to need to fill. Alright, and up we go. And let's see here. So we can just dump some extra packaged fuel into here. So that will help a little. And then ultimately we do need to go down to this and just start chucking canisters in. And I think I would like to do 3 stacks per group, which might be enough for indefinitely, but also might not. Alright, so that's 3 stacks for that group. This group gets 3 stacks. And we're going to need to redistribute these. The logistics floor is going to get more use because we have to redistribute these evenly to back to these machines when we're recycling them. Alright, this one is small. You can probably get by with 1 stack. And then that can be 1, 2, 3, and just some spares, I guess. Alright, so it is at least doing something. It's getting some work done. And now we have to do the depackagers. But before that, we need a blueprint for them. Because, good lord, I am not doing all that manually again. So let's create a nice empty space over here for a blueprint designer. And it's the same ratios, right? Like, unpackaging fuel is exactly as fast as packaging it, I think. Yeah, so 26.667 fuel packagers. But again, we're going to be dealing with fuel in pipes of 300. No, we're going to be dealing with fuel in pipes of 200, I think, because that's that. Yeah. Alright, so we need a packager, which can deal with unpackaged fuel, 60 per minute, 60, 120, 180. So then I would need 5 of these machines, which won't fit in a single line. And yeah, so inputs are just packaged fuel, nice and simple. This is going to be a multi-story blueprint, I think, just to get all of that in there. Alright, so those are the inputs. And then outputs are both types of thing, and I don't think any of this lined up properly. No. Alright. Well, let's start back here. Stand there, place that. Hop over, stand there, place that. Alright, so that's 180, so we are going to need a second floor. There's nothing we could do to reorganize it so that everything fits on one floor. Alright, so now we have our pipeline. And yep, we have those, and we have it hooked in like that. Alright, cool. And then these need to be connected. Somehow they ended up not making it. And we need a second floor. So we have a wall going up, probably up another one, and we just fill this up. Now, can we fit a packager on this floor? Yes, we can. Wonderful. Alright. So now we just need... First of all, we do need empty space there to bring the stuff up. And no, not refinery. Packager. So we just need another 2 packagers. And we can get this off of there. So now we have our splitter. Going in. And this is the end of the lines. We could just do that. And then we set up the mergers like so, and like so. Alright. Wait, but I thought I messed up again. Just on the ratios, very minorly. So this is going to be coming in packs of 200. So I think I can probably squeeze another packager in on the first floor. Yeah, well, that's annoying, but it will make it a lot cleaner. So we're going to have to reset. Alright, so now we start the packagers as far to the side as we can. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes. Alright, so now we just have our splitter, and this is going to be so much nicer. 2, 3, and 4. And this last one is set to 20. So that will handle 200 packaged fuel a minute. And we hook everything up. So then this needs to be Mark 3. And then on this side, we have our mergers, which will go this way, I guess. We'll find a way to make that work. And then these all attach in quite nicely. And these need to be Mark 3s. Alright, and now we have the pipe, which comes along like that, and attaches to all of the outputs. So this is where the fuel will be handled. 3 and 4. And now we need a power pole Mark 2, which will hook up to all of these things. And they all need to be set to packaged fuel, or unpackaged fuel. And this last one is 20%. And there we go. Fuel unpackager. 200 in, 200 out. And then we clear the designer. And we pick it up. And now we just have to place down 4 of these. Hook them up. Yeah. Oh, so this is the other thing that I haven't done yet, is actually attach these refineries to a manifold. So we will need to get that, because the front side of these was blueprinted, the back side wasn't because of space problems. Okay. And then you go that way. Alright. fuel unpackaging is almost done. We're making pretty good progress here. Wait a minute. The math isn't mathing? This is 60 per minute. It's not 200, it's 400? Wait, hang on. 1,600 packaged fuel a minute means that... Oh, these are 400 each, which is fine. It still works perfectly evenly. So I'm just going to have 2 of those blueprints per instead of 1. And I just did the math wrong for some reason. And it's a good thing these are being transported via belt, because the pipes are not fast enough for that, but the belt is. So, alright, so that's sorted. These ones are about to be all merged. Alright, and I will have to upgrade the belts to tier 4. So yeah, that's tier 4, that's tier 4, that's tier 4. That one doesn't need to be tier 4. Wait, yes it does. That one is the one that doesn't need to be tier 4. Alright. So that's 2 of the blocks done. Now there's this one, which I actually need to make a space for. Yeah. The logistics stuff sort of bled into this floor a little bit, but not super much, and not to a degree where it would be a problem. Alright, and then we take this out towards the edges, is I think what we were doing. And we just place a bunch of mergers. And boy, doing all this manually sure does suck. If only I had the higher tier. If I had the higher tier, whatchamacallit, blueprint builder thing, then I would be able to have both sides of the refinery blueprint done, and that would be great. Why would you do it like that? Alright, we're not going to deal with your shenanigans. We're just going to finish this off this way first. Alright. And then that. And then that. And we have that one. 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 Alright, now we hook the machines in. And boy, I cannot wait for all this to turn on and realize that I've messed up the math somewhere. That's gonna be very fun to deal with. that is all of the packaged fuel hooked up to belts, which now need to be upgraded to capacity, which I can do real quick flying over. Alright, so that is that. Now we'd set up the unpackagers. So we're going to need a ton of space. So I have a blueprint, and we're going to need 2 blueprints per line that I have here. So let's just keep building out all the space that we can. And unfortunately there is this little blip in here that we can't use. Yeah, so those 3 rows are off limits for no reason other than I did bad planning. And I could fix that by like getting conveyor belt floor holes, but I don't really care to. This should be enough space anyway. And there. Alright. So first off, we need to get these ones. We need to get these ones out. Gosh, my poor supplies of encased industrial beams are taking some damage today. Alright, you need to get up over these stupid pipes. Like so. And gosh, yeah, it's very nice and neat in the middle of the factory, and it is very, very spaghetti around the edges. Alright, so then we can bring this. Gosh, I guess I don't want this to descend as much as it did there. So you need to come down here and still be like up there. And then you can come down there and be in the clear. And then this one. Alright, so that points that way. Okay, so here we will have our first set of blueprints, which line up conveniently. And a 1. And please fit, please fit, please fit. Alright, I think it fits. And 2. Oh no, I forgot to upgrade the belts in the blueprint, which means I'm gonna have to do all this manually, which is not a big deal. I sort of need to give this a pass over anyway to fix the gap in the middle. Alright, and now we take that, we hook it up to there. And we hook that up to there. And now we have unpackaged fuel ready for use. But it's going to be, 60, 120, 180, 240, 300. So it's going to be, hang on. Am I doing the math right? Every fourth is a smaller one, right? So these are 200 each. So yeah, those pipes actually do stay unconnected because it can't handle the full fuel. All right, so that's one. That's one row. Now we take this one and we do another row. And then I think we're going to need to have plenty of space. Alright. That's probably fine as far as space goes. And another one. Just need to get it to line up. Alright. And then that one can get this one.